Question 1. Which ancient people invaded Britain in AD 43, establishing Roman rule? A. The Vikings, B. The Romans, C. The Anglo-Saxons, D. The Normans. Answers is B. The Romans. The Roman invasion of Britain began in AD 43 under Emperor Claudius, leading to Roman rule over much of the island for nearly 400 years. Question 2. What name was given to the tribes who invaded Britain after the Romans left, establishing kingdoms like Wessex and Mercia? A. The Celts, B. The Normans, C. The Anglo-Saxons, D. The Picts. Answers is C. The Anglo-Saxons. After the Romans, Britain was invaded by tribes from continental Europe, including the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, collectively known as the Anglo-Saxons. Question 3. Which group of invaders from Scandinavia began raiding Britain in the late century? A. The Romans, B. The Vikings, C. The Celts, D. The Normans. Answers is B. The Vikings. From the late century, Vikings from Denmark and Norway began to raid and then settle in Britain, particularly in areas of northern and eastern England. Question 4. Which king of England famously defeated the Vikings at the Battle of in 878? A. King Canute, B. King Alfred the Great, C. King Edward the Confessor, D. King Harold. Answers is B. King Alfred the Great. King Alfred the Great of Wessex successfully defended his kingdom against Viking invasions, achieving a decisive victory at. Question 5. When did William the Conqueror invade England, leading to the Norman conquest? A. 1056, B. 1066, C. 1086, D. 1099. Answers is B. 1066. The Battle of Hastings in 1066, led by William the Conqueror, marked the Norman conquest of England and a significant change in English history and culture. Question 6. What major survey of land and property in England was in 1086 by William the Conqueror? A. The Magna, B. The Great Charter, C. The Domesday Book, D. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Answers is C. The Domesday Book. The Domesday Book was a comprehensive record of land ownership and value in England, commissioned by William I to assess taxes and feudal. Question 7. What document, signed in 1215, limited the power of the king and protected the rights of his subjects? A. The Bill of Rights, B. Magna, C. The Petition of Right, D. The Act of Settlement. Answers is B. Magna. Magna was signed by King John in 1215 and is considered a foundational document for constitutional law in the world. Question 8. Who was the first Tudor monarch of England after winning the Battle of Field in 1485? A. Henry, B. Henry, C. Elizabeth I, D. Edward. Answers is B. Henry. Henry ended the Wars of the Roses by defeating Richard at Field, establishing the Tudor dynasty. Question 9. Which king established the Church of England, separating from papal authority in the century? A. Henry, B. Henry, C. Edward, D. James I. Answers is B. Henry. Henry's desire for a male heir and an annulment led to the break with Rome and the establishment of the Church of England, with the monarch as its head. Question 10. Which queen, daughter of Henry, ruled England for over 40 years during a period known as the Golden Age? A. Mary I. B. Elizabeth I. C. Victoria D. Anne. Answers is B. Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I reigned from 1558 to 1603, a period marked by flourishing arts, exploration, and the defeat of the Spanish Armada. Question 11. Which Scottish king became King of England in 1603, uniting the crowns of Scotland and England? A. Charles I. B. James of Scotland, James I of England. C. Charles D. William. Answers is B. James of Scotland, James I of England. Upon the death of Elizabeth I, James of Scotland, her cousin, became James I of England, bringing the two crowns together for the first time. Question 12. The English Civil War was fought between the Parliamentarians and which royal forces? A. The Normans, B. The Tudors, D. The Vikings. Answers is B. The English Civil War pitted supporters of Parliament Roundheads against supporters of King Charles I Cavaliers, leading to the king's execution. Question 13. Who led the parliamentarian forces during the English Civil War and became Lord Protector? A. King Charles I. B. Oliver. C. King Charles D. William of Orange. Answers is B. Oliver. Oliver was a key military and political leader for the parliamentarians and ruled as Lord Protector during the Commonwealth period after the monarchy was abolished. Question 14. What major event in 1660 saw the monarchy with Charles on the throne? A. The Glorious Revolution. B. The Restoration. C. The Act of Union. D. The English Civil War. Answers is B. The Restoration. After a period of republican rule, the monarchy was in 1660 with the return of Charles, son of the Charles I. Question 15. In 1688, which event saw King James by William of Orange and his wife Mary, cementing parliamentary power? A. The English Civil War. B. The Restoration. C. The Glorious Revolution. D. The Act of Union. Answers is C. The Glorious Revolution. The Glorious Revolution was a largely bloodless coup that led to the overthrow of James and the ascension of William and Mary, who agreed to the Bill of Rights. Question 16. What significant document passed in 1689 established key civil rights and parliamentary supremacy in England? A. Magna. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Act of Settlement. D. The Petition of Right. Answers is B. The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights of 1689 set out fundamental and the power of Parliament over the monarch, a cornerstone of British constitutional law. Question 17. Which acts passed in 1707 united the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland? A. The Treaty of Union. B. The Acts of Union. C. The Great Reform Acts. D. The Kingdom Acts. Answers is B. The Acts of Union. The Acts of Union in 1707, the Kingdom of Great Britain, uniting the parliaments and governments of England and Scotland. Question 18. What major transformation in manufacturing and technology began in Britain in the century? A. The Renaissance, B. The Enlightenment, C. The Industrial Revolution, D. The Agricultural Revolution. Answers is C. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, starting in Britain, saw rapid advancements in textile production, steam power and metallurgy, transforming society and the economy. Question 19. Which British engineer is famous for developing the steam engine, crucial to the Industrial Revolution? A. Kingdom, B. James Watt, C. George, D. Richard. Answers is B. James Watt. James Watt significantly improved the steam engine, making it more efficient and enabling its widespread use in factories and transportation. Question 20. What British victory in 1805, led by Admiral Lord Nelson, British naval supremacy during the wars? A. The Battle of Waterloo, B. The Battle of C. The Battle of the Nile, D. The Battle of. Answers is B. The Battle of. Admiral Nelson's victory cemented Britain's control of the seas, preventing a French invasion and ensuring British dominance for a century. Question 21. Which major land battle in 1815 saw the Duke of Wellington defeat Napoleon? A. The Battle of B. The Battle of Leipzig, C. The Battle of Waterloo, D. The Battle of. Answers is C. The Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo, fought in Belgium, was the decisive defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, ending his reign and the wars. Question 22. During which century did the British Empire reach its largest extent? A. Century, B. Century, C. Century, D. Century. Answers is C. Century. The century saw the British Empire expand significantly, covering about of the world's land area and population by its peak. Question 23. Which queen reigned for over 63 years during a period of great industrial, cultural and imperial expansion? A. Elizabeth I. B. Elizabeth, C. Victoria, D. Mary I. Answers is C. Victoria. Queen Victoria's reign was the longest of any British monarch until Elizabeth, defining an era of profound change and British global influence. Question 24. In which year did the First World War begin? A. 1904, B. 1910, C. 1914, D. 1918. Answers is C. 1914. The First World War began in July 1914, following the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand and complex alliances among European powers. Question 25. Who was the Prime Minister of Britain for most of the First World War? A. Henry, B. David George, C. Churchill, D. Chamberlain. Answers is B. David George. David George became Prime Minister in December 1916 and led the wartime coalition government until the end of the First World War. Question 26. In which year did the Second World War begin? A. 1929, B. 1936, C. 1939, D. 1941. Answers is C. 1939. The Second World War started in September 1939, when Britain and France declared war on Germany following its invasion of Poland. Question 27. Who was the British Prime Minister during most of the Second World War, known for his leadership and speeches? A. Chamberlain, B. Churchill, C. Clement, D. Eden. Answers is B. Churchill. Churchill became Prime Minister in May 1940 and inspired the British people through his powerful wartime leadership and speeches. Question 28. What was the name of the Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, a turning point in A. Operation Dynamo, B. Operation Market Garden, C. D-Day, D. Operation Overlord? Answers is C. D-Day. D-Day, part of Operation Overlord, was the largest seaborne invasion in history, marking the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control. Question 29. Which significant social welfare system was established in Britain after the Second World War in 1948? A. The National Education System, B. The National Health Service, C. The National Insurance Scheme, D. The National Housing Authority. Answers is B. The National Health Service. That was founded in 1948, providing free healthcare to all citizens at the point of use, funded through general taxation. Question 30. From which parts of the world did significant immigration to Britain occur after to help rebuild the country? A. Eastern Europe, B. The Commonwealth e.g., Caribbean, Indian subcontinent, C. North America, D. South America. Answers is B. The Commonwealth e.g., Caribbean, Indian subcontinent. Britain faced labour shortages, leading to invitations for workers from Commonwealth like the West and India to help rebuild. Question 31. Who is the current head of state of the United Kingdom? A. The Prime Minister, B. The King, C. The Archbishop of Canterbury, D. The Speaker of the House of Commons. Answers is B. The King. The King is the current head of state of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth realms, a hereditary position. Question 32. What is the official residence and principal workplace of the monarch in London? A. Windsor Castle, B. C. Palace, D. House. Answers is C. Palace. Palace serves as the King's official London residence and the administrative headquarters of the monarchy. Question 33. What is the title of the head of government in the United Kingdom? A. The Lord Chancellor, B. The Speaker, C. The Prime Minister, D. The Monarch. Answers is C. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of government, leading the executive branch of the government. Question 34. Where does the Parliament meet? A. Windsor Castle, B. The Palace of Westminster, C. Downing Street, D. Westminster Abbey. Answers is B. The Palace of Westminster. The Palace of Westminster is the iconic building where the two Houses of Parliament, the Commons and the Lords, conduct their business. Question 35. Which of the two Houses of Parliament consists of elected members of Parliament? A. The House of Lords, B. The House of Commons, C. The Privy Council, D. The Cabinet. Answers is B, the House of Commons. The House of Commons is the lower house of the Parliament, with members directly elected by the public in general elections. Question 36. What is the main role of the House of Lords? A. To scrutinise legislation and hold the government to account. B. To elect the Prime Minister. C. To manage the budget of the country. D. To command the armed forces. Answers is A. To scrutinise legislation and hold the government to account. The House of Lords primarily acts as a revising chamber, scrutinising bills passed by the Commons, and holding the government accountable through debates and questions. Question 37. How often are general elections typically held in the A. Every 3 years. B. Every 5 years unless an early election is called. C. Every 7 years. D. Every 10 years. Answers is B. Every 5 years unless an early election is called. Under the Act, general elections are held every 5 years, though early elections can occur under specific circumstances. Question 38. What is the minimum age to vote in a general election? A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. 25. Answers is B. 18. Aged 18 or over are eligible to vote in general elections, local elections, and other polls across the. Question 39. Which of the following is a responsibility of all British citizens and permanent residents? A. Volunteering for the armed forces. B. Obeying the law. C. Attending local council meetings. D. Becoming a member of Parliament. Answers is B. Obeying the law. Obeying the law is a fundamental responsibility for all individuals living in the United Kingdom, ensuring a safe and orderly society. Question 40. What is the capital city of England? A. Manchester. B. London. C. D. Liverpool. Answers is B. London. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom, a major global city for finance, culture, and tourism. Question 41. What is the capital city of Scotland? A. Glasgow. B. Edinburgh. C. Aberdeen. D. Dundee. Answers is B. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is Scotland's capital, famous for its historic castle, annual festivals, and vibrant cultural scene. Question 42. What is the capital city of Wales? A. Swansea. B. Cardiff. C. Newport. D. Answers is B. Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital and largest city of Wales, hosting its Parliament Senedd Cymru and a range of national institutions. Question 43. What is the capital city of Northern Ireland? A. B. Belfast. C. D. Answers is B. Belfast. Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland, known for its industrial heritage and its role in the peace process. Question 44. Which mountain is the highest in the A. Mount Snowdon. B. Ben Nevis. C. Pike. D. Answers is B. Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis in Scotland is the highest mountain in the British, standing at 345 metres above sea level. Question 45. Which river is the longest in the A. River Thames, B. River Severn, C. River Trent, D. River Clyde? Answers is B. River Severn. The River Severn is the longest river in the, flowing for approximately 354 kilometers through Wales and England. Question 46. Which sport is considered the national sport of England and is widely played across the A. Rugby, B. Football, soccer, C. Cricket, D. Tennis? Answers is B. Football, soccer. Football is the most popular sport in the, with the Premier League being one of the sports leagues globally. Question 47. What is the main governing body for professional football in England? A. The Rugby Football Union, B. The Football Association the FA, C. The Premier League, D. The English Cricket Board? Answers is B. The Football Association the FA. The FA is the governing body of football in England and the oldest football association in the world, founded in 1863. Question 48. Which major annual tennis tournament is held in London? A. The US Open, B. Wimbledon, C. The French Open, D. The Australian Open? Answers is B. Wimbledon. Wimbledon is the oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament in the world, held annually in London since 1877. Question 49. Which famous British playwright wrote Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet? A. Charles Dickens, B. William Shakespeare, C. Jane D. Answers is B. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often regarded as the greatest writer in the English language, penned numerous famous plays and sonnets. Question 50. Which famous Scottish poet wrote Old Sign and is celebrated annually on Burns Night? A. Walter Scott, B. Robert Burns, C. Robert Louis, D. Lord? Answers is B. Robert Burns. Robert Burns is Scotland's national poet, and his birthday January is celebrated worldwide as Burns Night. Question 51. Which British author the character Sherlock Holmes? A. Christie, B. Sir Arthur, C. J. K. D. Fleming? Answers is B. Sir Arthur. Sir Arthur Detective Sherlock Holmes first appeared in print in 1887 and remains a beloved figure in literature. Question 52. What is the traditional British food consisting of battered fish and potatoes? A. Shepherd's pie, B. Fish and chips, C. Full English breakfast, D. Sunday roast? Answers is B. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is a classic and popular takeaway meal in the, considered a staple of British cuisine. Question 53. What is the common name for the traditional British meal eaten on Sunday, typically with roasted meat, potatoes and vegetables? A. Ploughman's lunch, B. Sunday roast, C. Cream tea, D. Afternoon tea? Answers is B. Sunday roast. The Sunday roast is a traditional meal of roasted meat like beef or chicken, roast potatoes, vegetables and gravy, often served with Yorkshire puddings. Question 54. What popular British beverage is often served with milk and sugar? A. Coffee, B. Tea, C. Hot chocolate, D. Juice? Answers is B. Tea. Tea is deeply ingrained in British culture, with many people consuming several cups a day, often with milk and sugar. Question 55. What is the national flower of England? A. Thistle, B. Rose, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Rose. The rose has been a national symbol of England since the Wars of the Roses century, representing the houses of Lancaster red and York white. Question 56. What is the national flower of Scotland? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Thistle. The thistle is the national emblem of Scotland, to have been adopted as early as the century. Question 57. What is the national flower of Wales? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is C. Daffodil. The daffodil is a prominent national symbol of Wales, associated with St. David's Day on March. Question 58. What is the national flower of Northern Ireland? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is D. Shamrock. The shamrock is the national symbol of Ireland and is widely used to represent Northern Ireland as well. Question 59. When is George's Day England's National Day? A. March, B. April, C. March, D. November. Answers is B. April. George's Day is celebrated on April each year, commemorating England's patron saint. Question 60. When is Andrew's Day Scotland's National Day? A. March, B. April, C. March, D. November. Answers is D. November. Andrew's Day, celebrated on November, honours the patron saint of Scotland and is a national holiday there. Question 61. When is David's Day Wales' National Day? A. March, B. April, C. March, D. November. Answers is C. March. David's Day on March celebrates the patron saint of Wales, with many people wearing daffodils or leeks. Question 62. When is Day Northern Ireland's National Day? A. March, B. April, C. March, D. November. Answers is A. March. Day observed on March is a public holiday in Northern Ireland and celebrates its patron saint. Question 63. What is the name of the British flag? A. The Three Lions, B. The Union Flag Union Jack, C. The Royal Standard, D. The Great Flag. Answers is B. The Union Flag Union Jack. The Union flag, commonly known as the Union Jack, is the national flag of the United Kingdom, combining the crosses of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Question 64. Which three crosses are combined to form the Union flag? A. George, Andrew, David, B. George, Andrew, C. George, David, Michael, D. Andrew, Columba. Answers is B. George, Andrew. The Union flag combines the red cross of George, England, the white saltire of Andrew, Scotland, and the red saltire of Northern Ireland. Question 65. What are the core principles by the life in the test? A. Prosperity, tradition, liberty. B. Democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance, mutual respect. C. Innovation, strength, community. D. Equality, fraternity, justice. Answers is B. Democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance, mutual respect. The test emphasizes these core values as fundamental to life in the, promoting cohesion and respect. Question 66. Who is responsible for raising children in accordance with British values? A. The school. B. The government. C. The parents or guardians. D. The local council. Answers is C. The parents or guardians. And guardians have the primary responsibility for ensuring their children understand and respect the fundamental values of British society. Question 67. What is the official religion of England? A. Catholicism. B. Anglican Church of England. C. Presbyterianism. D. Methodism. Answers is B. Anglican Church of England. The Church of England is the established church in England, with the monarch as its supreme governor. There is no official religion in Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. Question 68. Who founded the Church of England? A. Queen Elizabeth. I. B. King Henry. C. King James. I. D. Oliver. Answers is B. King Henry. King Henry, the English Reformation, leading to the creation of the Church of England, distinct from papal authority in the century. Question 69. Which document outlines the rights and of British citizens? A. The European Convention on Human Rights. B. The Life in the Handbook. C. The Magna. D. The British Constitution. Answers is B. The Life in the Handbook. The Life in the Handbook provides comprehensive information on the rights and of those living in the, including citizens. Question 70. What is the primary role of the police in the A. To collect taxes. B. To maintain law and order, prevent crime and protect the public. C. To enforce international. D. To manage traffic flow only. Answers is B. To maintain law and order, prevent crime and protect the public. The police forces across the are responsible for upholding the law, investigating crimes, and ensuring public safety. Question 71. When applying for British citizenship, what is an essential part of the process? A. Owning property in the. B. Demonstrating knowledge of life in the. C. Having a family member. D. Speaking a second language. Answers is B. Demonstrating knowledge of life in the. The Life in the test assesses applicants' knowledge of British history, culture and society, a mandatory requirement for citizenship. Question 72. What is meant by jury service in the A. Volunteering for a charitable organisation. B. Being summoned to help decide the verdict in a criminal trial. C. Working as a court clerk. D. Serving in the legal department of a company. Answers is B. Being summoned to help decide the verdict in a criminal trial. Jury service is a civic duty where selected members of the public participate in trials to decide factual questions and deliver a verdict. Question 73. who is required to pay income tax in the A. Only foreign nationals, B. Most adults who earn above a certain threshold, C. Only those who own property, D. Only businesses, not individuals. Answers is B. Most adults who earn above a certain threshold. Income tax is levied on an individual's earnings, and most adults earning above a personal allowance are required to pay it. Question 74. What is the name of the legislative body in Scotland? A. The House of Commons, B. The Scottish Parliament Holyrood, C. The Senedd Cymru, D. The Northern Ireland Assembly. Answers is B. The Scottish Parliament Holyrood. The Scottish Parliament, at Holyrood in Edinburgh, has devolved powers to legislate on many matters specific to Scotland. Question 75. What is the name of the legislative body in Wales? A. The Scottish Parliament, B. The Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament, C. The Northern Ireland Assembly, D. The House of Lords. Answers is B. The Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. The Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament in Cardiff has the power to make laws for Wales on a range of devolved subjects. Question 76. What is the name of the legislative body in Northern Ireland? A. The Scottish Parliament, B. The Senedd Cymru, C. The Northern Ireland Assembly, D. The House of Commons. Answers is C. The Northern Ireland Assembly. The Northern Ireland Assembly, based in Belfast, exercises devolved legislative and executive powers for Northern Ireland. Question 77. What famous landmark is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England? A. Hadrian's Wall, B. Stonehenge, C. Tower of London, D. Palace. Answers is B. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument consisting of a ring of standing stones, dating back to 3000 to 2000. Question 78. What Roman wall spans northern England, built to defend Roman Britain from northern tribes? A. The Antonine Wall, B. Hadrian's Wall, C. Offa's Dyke, D. The Great Wall of Britain. Answers is B. Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was built by the Roman Emperor Hadrian to mark the northern frontier of Roman Britain. Question 79. Which British scientist developed the theory of evolution by natural selection? A. Isaac Newton, B. Charles, C. Stephen Hawking, D. Alan. Answers is B. Charles. Charles' book on the origin of species, 1859, revolutionized scientific understanding of life on Earth. Question 80. Which British physicist developed the laws of motion and universal gravitation? A. Michael Faraday, B. Isaac Newton, C. James Clerk Maxwell, D. Lord Kelvin. Answers is B. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton was a key figure in the scientific revolution, whose work laid the foundations for classical mechanics and calculus. Question 81. Which British nurse is considered the founder of modern nursing, prominent during the Crimean War? A. Mary, B. Florence Nightingale, C. Elizabeth Fry, D. Answers is B. Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale's pioneering work in hygiene and nursing during the Crimean War transformed the profession and healthcare. Question 82. Who was a pioneering Jamaican nurse who also cared for British soldiers during the Crimean War? A. Elizabeth Anderson, B. Mary, C. Florence Nightingale, D. Pankhurst. Answers is B. Mary. Mary, a nurse, funded her own way to the Crimean War to provide care, later celebrated for her humanitarian work. Question 83. What is the name of the annual Festival of Arts and Culture held in Edinburgh, Scotland? A. Glastonbury Festival, B. Edinburgh Festival Fringe, C. Hill Carnival, D. Reading and Leeds. Answers is B. Edinburgh Festival Fringe. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe is the largest arts festival in the world, taking place every August with thousands of performances. Question 84. Which British band formed in Liverpool became one of the most influential music groups in history? A. The Rolling Stones, B. The Beatles, C. Queen, D. Led Zeppelin. Answers is B. The Beatles. The Beatles, comprised of John George Harrison, and rose to global fame in the. Question 85. What is the official anthem of the United Kingdom? A. Rule Britannia, B. God Save the King, C. Land of Hope and Glory, D. Jerusalem. Answers is B. God Save the King. God Save the King or Queen, when a female monarch is on the throne, is the national anthem of the and several Commonwealth realms. Question 86. What is a traditional British pantomime usually performed around Christmas? A silent film, B. A musical comedy stage show based on fairy tales, C. A dramatic historical reenactment, D. A classical ballet performance. Answers is B. A musical comedy stage show based on fairy tales. Pantomimes are theatrical productions typically featuring singing, dancing, slapstick comedy and audience participation, adapted from fairy tales. Question 87. What is the role of the monarch in the Parliament? A. To debate and vote on laws, B. To open and close Parliament and approve legislation royal assent, C. To chair parliamentary committees, D. To serve as the Speaker of the House of Commons. Answers is B. To open and close Parliament and approve legislation royal assent. The monarch's role is largely ceremonial, including opening parliamentary sessions, approving bills, and appointing the Prime Minister. Question 88. What is the minimum age to be eligible to stand as a Member of Parliament? A. 18, B. 18 though historically it was higher, C. 21, D. 25. Answers is B. 18 though historically it was higher. Since 2006, the minimum age to be a Member of Parliament is 18 years old. Previously it was 21. Question 89. What is the traditional name for the day after Christmas Day, celebrated as a public holiday? A. New Year's Day, B. Boxing Day, C. Easter Monday, D. May Day. Answers is B. Boxing Day. Boxing Day on December is a public holiday in the, traditionally a day for giving gifts to service staff and spending time with family. Question 90. What is the name of the Springbank holiday which is celebrated on a Monday and is named after a month? A. Summer bank holiday, B. May Day bank holiday, C. August bank holiday, D. Spring equinox holiday. Answers is B. May Day bank holiday. The May Day bank holiday, usually the first Monday in May, is a public holiday and celebrates the arrival of spring. Question 91. Who famously broke the Enigma code during at Park? A. Tim B. Allen, C. Stephen Hawking, D. Alexander Fleming. Answers is B. Allen. Allen was a brilliant mathematician and computer scientist whose work at Park was crucial in decrypting German codes during. Question 92. Which British scientist discovered penicillin, the world's first antibiotic? A. Robert B. Alexander Fleming, C. Louis D. Joseph Lister. Answers is B. Alexander Fleming. Sir Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928, a breakthrough that revolutionized medicine and saved millions of lives. Question 93. Which of the following is a responsibility of a citizen towards their local community? A. Decorating public buildings, B. Respecting the environment, C. Providing free labor to businesses, D. Funding local infrastructure projects personally. Answers is B. Respecting the environment. Are expected to contribute positively to their local community, including by taking care of the environment. Question 94. What is the formal name for the system where different parts of the have their own elected or parliaments? A. Federalism, B. Devolution, C. Unitary system, D. Answers is B. Devolution. Devolution refers to the statutory granting of powers from the Parliament of the United Kingdom to the Scottish Parliament, the Senedd Cymru, and the Northern Ireland Assembly. Question 95. Which British engineer and designer built the Great Western Railway in Great Britain? A. George, B. Kingdom, C. James Watt, D. Richard. Answers is B. Kingdom. Kingdom was a prodigious engineer known for his innovative designs in railways, steamships, and bridges. Question 96. What is the longest period of continuous Roman rule in British history? A. About 100 years, B. About 400 years, C. About 700 years, D. About 10 years. Answers is B. About 400 years. The Romans ruled parts of Britain from AD 43 until around AD 410, a period of nearly 4. Question 97. Which year marked the end of the First World War? A. 1916, B. 1918, C. 1919, D. 1921. Answers is B. 1918. The First World War ended with the armistice on November 1918, a day as Remembrance Day. Question 98. Which year marked the end of the Second World War? A. 1943, B. 1945, C. 1947, D. 1948. Answers is B. 1945. the Second World War ended in Europe on May 1945 Day, and globally on September 1945, with Japan's surrender VJ Day. Question 99. What is the official title of the person who runs the government departments chosen by the Prime Minister? A. Member of Parliament. B. Secretary of State or Minister. C. Shadow Minister. D. Lord Lieutenant. Answers is B. Secretary of State or Minister of State head government departments and are senior members of the Cabinet, appointed by the Prime Minister. Question 100. What is the minimum age to be eligible for jury service in the A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. 25? Answers is B. 18. To be eligible for jury service, a person must be on the electoral register, be aged 18 to 75, and have in thee for at least 5 years. Question 101. Who elects members of Parliament to the House of Commons? A. The Queen. B. Members of the public voters. C. The House of Lords. D. The Prime Minister. Answers is B. Members of the public voters are elected by the public in their local during general elections, representing their area in Parliament. Question 102. What is the purpose of the national insurance contributions in the A. To fund local government only. B. To fund state benefits and services including the C. To fund private pensions only. D. To pay for foreign aid. Answers is B. To fund state benefits and services including the national insurance is a tax on earnings paid by employees, employers, and the self-employed, contributing to state pensions and public services. Question 103. Which major sporting event involves boats racing along the River Thames between Oxford and Cambridge? A. The London Marathon. B. The boat race. C. The Henley Royal Regatta. D. The Grand National. Answers is B. The boat race. The annual boat race is a long-standing tradition between the rowing clubs of Oxford University and Cambridge University on the River Thames. Question 104. What is the name of the distinctive red double-decker bus that is an icon of London? A. The Black Cab. B. The C. The Tube Train. D. The Red Arrow. Answers is B. The bus, with its open rear platform, is a classic symbol of London's public transport, though many have been by modern versions. Question 105. Which Scottish loch is famous for its mythical monster? A. Loch. B. Loch Ness. C. Loch. D. Loch Tay. Answers is B. Loch Ness. Loch Ness is a large, deep loch in the Scottish Highlands, home to the legendary Loch Ness Monster. Question 106. Which British monarch granted the American independence? A. King George V. B. King George. C. King George. D. Queen Victoria. Answers is B. King George. King George was the reigning monarch during the American Revolutionary War, which led to the independence of the United States. Question 107. What is the term for the unwritten collection of laws and conventions that form part of the Constitution? A. The Written Code. B. The Constitution. C. The Common Law Codex. D. The Statutory Laws. Answers is B, the Constitution. The has and Constitution, meaning it is not contained in a single document, but is from various sources, including statutes, common law, and conventions. Question 108. Which British scientist is credited with inventing the World Wide Web? A. Bill Gates, B. Sir Tim, C. Steve Jobs, D. Mark. Answers is B. Sir Tim. Sir Tim invented the World Wide Web in 1989 while working at CERN, revolutionizing information sharing. Question 109. What is the name of the traditional Welsh folk music and poetry festival? A. Celtic Connections, B. The Eisteddfod, C. The Tea in the Park, D. The Proms. Answers is B. The Eisteddfod. The Eisteddfod is a major Welsh festival for poetry, music, and performance, deeply rooted in Welsh culture and language. Question 110. Which British author wrote 1984 An Animal Farm? A. B. George C. J.R.R. D. C.S. Lewis. Answers is B. George. George Born Blair was a renowned English novelist, essayist, and critic, famous for his dystopian and satirical works. Question 111. What is the name of the highest court in the United Kingdom? A. The Court of Appeal, B. The Supreme Court, C. The High Court, D. The House of Lords Judicial Committee. Answers is B. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal in for civil cases, and for criminal cases from England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Question 112. What is the collective term for the 4 seasons in the A. Warm, mild, cool, cold, B. Spring, summer, autumn, fall, winter, C. Dry, wet, snowy, sunny, D. Monsoon, drought, flood, mist. Answers is B. Spring, summer, autumn, fall, winter. The experiences 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn, often called fall in American English, and winter. Question 113. What is the name of the system where the monarch's power is limited by law and parliament? A. Absolute monarchy, B. Constitutional monarchy, C. Republic, D. Dictatorship. Answers is B. Constitutional monarchy. The operates as a constitutional monarchy, where the king is head of state, but holds powers that are largely ceremonial and limited by a constitution. Question 114. Which British explorer was the first to circumnavigate the globe? A. Captain Cook, B. Sir Francis Drake, C. Walter Raleigh, D. James Cook. Answers is B. Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake II circumnavigation of the Earth between 1577 and 1580, leading the first English expedition to do so. Question 115. What is the official name of the police force in London? A. London Police Service, B. Metropolitan Police Service the Met, C. City of London Police, D. Greater London Authority Police. Answers is B. Metropolitan Police Service the Met. The Metropolitan Police Service, commonly known as the Met, is the territorial police force responsible for law enforcement in Greater London, excluding the City of London. Question 116. Which ancient Celtic festival is celebrated on October? A. Beltane, B. Halloween Samhain, C. D. Answers is B. Halloween Samhain. Halloween has ancient Celtic roots in the festival of Samhain, marking the end of summer and harvest and beginning of the dark half of the year. Question 117. What is the name of the daily record of parliamentary debates in the A. The Parliamentary Gazette, B. Hansard, C. The House Record, D. The Official Report? Answers is B. Hansard. Hansard is the official report of all parliamentary debates and proceedings in both the House of Commons and the House of Lords. Question 118. Which Scottish city is known as the Dear Green Place and is famous for its shipbuilding history? A. Edinburgh, B. Glasgow, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is B. Glasgow. Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, has a rich industrial heritage, especially in shipbuilding on the River Clyde, and its name means Dear Green Place. Question 119. What is the traditional name for the New Year's Eve celebration in Scotland? A. Burns Night, B. Hogmanay, C. Andrews Eve, D. Caledonian Gala. Answers is B. Hogmanay. Hogmanay is the Scottish New Year's Eve celebration, known for its extensive, including firstfooting. Question 120. Which British Prime Minister introduced the New Labour movement? A. Thatcher, B. Tony Blair, C. Brown, D. John Major. Answers is B. Tony Blair. Tony Blair led the Labour Party to a landslide victory in 1997 on a New Labour platform, serving as Prime Minister for a decade. Question 121. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the A. May, B. Thatcher, C. Truss, D. Barbara Castle? Answers is B. Thatcher. Thatcher, known as the Iron Lady, served as Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990, the British Prime Minister of the century. Question 122. Which famous children's author Peter Rabbit? A. B. Beatrix Potter, C. Doll, D. Lewis. Answers is B. Beatrix Potter. Beatrix Potter was an English writer, illustrator, and conservationist, best known for her children's books featuring animal characters like Peter Rabbit. Question 123. What is the name of the patron saint of England whose cross is red on a white background? A. St. Andrew, B. St. George, C. St. David, D. Saint. Answers is B. St. George. St. George is the patron saint of England, famously associated with the legend of slaying a dragon. Question 124. What is the name of the patron saint of Scotland whose cross is white on a blue background? A. St. George, B. St. Andrew, C. St. David, D. Saint. Answers is B. St. Andrew. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, and his cross, a white saltire on a blue field, forms the Scottish flag. Question 125. What is the name of the patron saint of Wales, celebrated on March? A. St. George, B. St. Andrew, C. St. David, D. Saint. Answers is C. Saint David. Saint David is the patron saint of Wales, and his feast day, David's Day, is a national day of celebration in Wales. Question 126. What is the name of the patron saint of Ireland and Northern Ireland, celebrated on March? A. Saint George, B. Saint Andrew, C. Saint David, D. Saint. Answers is D. Saint. Saint is the foremost patron saint of Ireland, widely celebrated for bringing Christianity to the island. Question 127. Which famous London landmark is a former royal residence, fortress and prison? A. Westminster Abbey, B. the Tower of London, C. Cathedral, D. the British Museum. Answers is B. the Tower of London. The Tower of London is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Question 128. What is the name of the large clock tower at the Palace of Westminster, often mistakenly called Big Ben? A. Elizabeth Clock, B. Elizabeth Tower, C. Westminster Chimes, D. Victoria Tower. Answers is B. Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is actually the nickname for the Great Bell inside the Elizabeth Tower, a prominent part of the Houses of Parliament. Question 129. Which British institution holds a vast collection of world art and artifacts, including the Rosetta Stone? A. the Victoria and Albert Museum, B. the British Museum, C. the National Gallery, D. the Tate Modern. Answers is B. the British Museum. The British Museum in London houses a permanent collection of around 8 million works, one of the largest and most comprehensive in existence. Question 130. What is the role of the Archbishop of Canterbury? A. to head the government, B. to be the spiritual leader of the Church of England, C. to oversee the Scottish Parliament, D. to command the British Armed Forces. Answers is B. to be the spiritual leader of the Church of England. The Archbishop of Canterbury is the senior bishop and principal leader of the Church of England, and the symbolic head of the worldwide Anglican Communion. Question 131. Which major event in 1966 saw England win the FIFA World Cup? A. the European Championship, B. the FIFA World Cup, C. the Olympic Games, D. the FA Cup Final. Answers is B. the FIFA World Cup. England hosted and won the 1966 FIFA World Cup, defeating West Germany in the final at Stadium. Question 132. Which British scientist the structure of A. Stephen Hawking, B. Francis Crick, C. Michael Faraday, D. Robert? Answers is B. Francis Crick. Francis Crick, along with James Watson and Franklin, whose work was crucial, the double helix structure of in 1953. Question 133. What is the name of the annual horse race held in Liverpool, famous for its challenging fences? A. Ascot Gold Cup, B. the Grand National, C. the Derby, D. Gold Cup. Answers is B. the Grand National. The Grand National is a famous national hunt horse race held annually at Racecourse in Liverpool, known for its large fences. Question 134. Which British king was forced to abdicate in 1936 to marry an American? A. George V. B. Edward. C. George D. Henry. Answers is B. Edward. King Edward dethroned after less than a year to Mary Simpson, leading to his brother George becoming king. Question 135. What is the name given to the period in the when British popular culture, especially music and fashion, became globally influential? A. The swinging. B. The swinging. C. The roaring. D. The vibrant 70s. Answers is B. The swinging. The swinging refers to the vibrant cultural revolution that emerged during the, particularly in London, with music, fashion, and social liberation. Question 136. What is the term for the system of government where the head of state is a monarch, but the executive power is exercised by elected officials? A. Republic. B. Parliamentary monarchy. C. Presidential system. D. Absolute monarchy. Answers is B. Parliamentary monarchy. There is a parliamentary monarchy, meaning the monarch's power is ceremonial, and real political power rests with the elected parliament and the prime minister. Question 137. Which famous battle in 1066 saw Harold defeated by William the Conqueror? A. Battle of Stamford Bridge. B. Battle of Hastings. C. Battle of D. Battle of Field. Answers is B. Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings was a pivotal moment in English history, leading to the Norman conquest and the establishment of a new ruling class. Question 138. What is the name of the agreement signed in 1998 that brought an end to most of the violence in Northern Ireland? A. The Belfast Agreement. B. The Good Friday Agreement. C. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. D. The Act of Union 1800. Answers is B. The Good Friday Agreement. The Good Friday Agreement, also known as the Belfast Agreement, was a major political settlement that largely ended the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Question 139. Which British Prime Minister led the country during the war in 1982? A. John Major. B. Thatcher. C. Harold Wilson. D. Tony Blair. Answers is B. Thatcher. Thatcher's leadership during the war, a conflict with Argentina over the islands, bolstered her political position. Question 140. What is the term for the period of social and political upheaval in Britain during the late and early, leading to calls for parliamentary reform? A. The Glorious Revolution. B. The Radical Years. C. The Reformation. D. The English Civil War. Answers is B. The Radical Years. The Radical Years refers to the intense period of political and social reform movements in response to and demands for greater democracy. Question 141. Which British physicist and cosmologist was known for his work on black holes and general relativity? A. Isaac Newton. B. Stephen Hawking. C. Cox. D. James Clerk Maxwell. Answers is B. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a groundbreaking theoretical physicist whose popular science books made complex topics accessible to a wider audience. Question 142. What is the name of the famous street in London where the Prime Minister's official residence is? A. Fleet Street, B. Downing Street, C. Whitehall, D. The Mall. Answers is B. Downing Street. Number 10 Downing Street has been the official residence and office of the First Lord of the Treasury and Prime Minister since 1735. Question 143. What is the name of the traditional Welsh leek soup? A. Cawl, B. Cawl, C. D. Answers is B. Cawl. Cawl is a traditional Welsh soup or stew, often made with lamb or beef and leeks, potatoes and other root vegetables. Question 144. Which British author wrote Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility? A. Charlotte, B. Jane, C. Virginia Woolf, D. Mary Shelley. Answers is B. Jane. Jane was an English novelist known primarily for her 6 major novels, which interpret, critique, and comment upon the British landed gentry. Question 145. What is the term for the system of justice where legal decisions are based on judicial precedent and custom? A. Civil law, B. Common law, C. Statutory law, D. Equity law. Answers is B. Common law. Common law, developed by judges through decisions of courts, forms a significant part of the legal systems in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Question 146. Which major sporting event featuring teams from Commonwealth is held every 4 years? A. The Olympic Games, B. The Commonwealth Games, C. The World Championships, D. The European Games. Answers is B. The Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games are an international event involving athletes from the Commonwealth of Nations, held every 4 years. Question 147. What is the name of the famous annual music festival held in A. Field Inn, known for its diverse music and arts? A. Reading Festival, B. Glastonbury Festival, C. Isle of Wight Festival, D. Wireless Festival. Answers is B. Glastonbury Festival. Glastonbury Festival of Contemporary Performing Arts is a festival held near, known for its music and performing arts. Question 148. What major city in northern England was a hub for the textile industry during the Industrial Revolution? A. Newcastle, B. Manchester, C. Leeds, D. Sheffield. Answers is B. Manchester. Manchester became the world's first industrial city, often called due to its central role in textile manufacturing. Question 149. What is the purpose of a by-election in the A. To elect a new Prime Minister, B. To elect a new for a specific constituency when the current one leaves office, C. To hold a national referendum, D. To elect local councillors only. Answers is B. To elect a new for a specific constituency when the current one leaves office. A by-election is held to fill a vacancy in the House of Commons that arises between general elections, usually due to death, resignation, or disqualification. Question 150. Which major British naval base and port played a key role in both World Wars? A. Liverpool, B. Portsmouth, C. Bristol, D. Plymouth. Answers is B. Portsmouth. Portsmouth Naval Base has a long and distinguished history as a vital naval port for the Royal Navy, especially during major conflicts.